New year, new pickups. Alright everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm the man they call Pixel Paul. Thank you for pressing play once again. New year, new pickups. So we're into 2025 now. We've just had Christmas. Hope you had a good one. Hope you had a nice new year as well. I've had a nice break off work. It's been really good actually. Mostly good over Christmas, but yeah, it's been a nice break from everything, and it's also allowed me a little bit of time to go out and see what I can find in the Christmas sales. And truth be told, I've not been overly impressed with the Christmas sales this year. I am of course talking about games. Yeah, it's happened the last few years where I think the best deals for games seem to come before Christmas. You know, you have Black Friday these days, and that seems to take sort of priority when it comes to sort of selling off stock a little bit. Always back in when I was younger, certainly, and you know when I used to go out post-Christmas shopping, like with my dad, you know we used to go raiding places like HMV for CDs and games and you know movies and that sort of thing, and it was always the thing where the best deals were always on after Christmas. And I don't know, that just seems to be a thing of the past a little bit now. Obviously I just focus on looking for games these days, and yeah, like I said, I think most of the gaming deals are usually done before Christmas these days. That being said, there are still, you know, some offers out there. There are still places doing sales for games as well. But in general, yeah, I've just not really found that much in the way of probably more, you know, the current generation, you know, PlayStation 5, Xbox. There just hasn't been loads of stuff for those consoles on sale. Certainly not the Switch, because there's never any price reductions for Switch, really. So, but yeah, that being said, I have still managed to pick up a few games, which I will show you now. Right, so the first game that I picked up, now this was actually an online order, and it's from a place where I think I'm obviously very slow on the mark with this one. I don't do a huge amount of online shopping because I do like to go out and buy games from stores and, you know, do it sort of physically. But occasionally I do sort of do online buys as well, and this is one of those. But yeah, I think I must have slept on this because everybody on Instagram seems to know about this place for buying games, and I got this from the game collection. You'll find them on Instagram. I'll link them and put a thing on the screen, and they have quite a decent sort of online store, a lot of current generation stuff. There is like a section for older games as well, and also sort of retro games as well. There's not a huge amount of stock of those kind of games, but yeah, they're doing a bit of a Christmas sale on there as well. I think, as far as I know, it's still on there as well, and there's some good deals on there, to be fair. You know, if you're on Instagram, you'll have seen quite a few people have been buying up the Plague Tale box set with the two games, and I think comes in a steelbook. It's currently about, I think it's about £25, which is not a bad buy actually. If you think of it, £12 each, £12.50 for both games. That is not a bad box set. I do still have my eye on the Tomb Raider remastered trilogy box set, which I think they've still got in stock. It is in their sale. It's been reduced a little bit. I am tempted by that. But anyway, that's by the by. Check out the website. It's pretty good. It's worth a look. And one game I did pick up from it, it was a cheap and cheerful one, and it is Gungrave Gore on the PlayStation 5. I paid £4.95 for this. Free postage, very quick postage as well. It came within 2 days, and bearing in mind this is over Christmas as well. So yeah, I've played Gungrave before. I've actually got it on the Xbox One, and have played it before and quite enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was alright, nothing spectacular or anything like that, but yeah, a decent little third person shooter, and quite liked it. So at a fiver I thought I'll pick that up. In general, you can pick this up for about £8, I think. I'm sure Game, of all places, have been selling this for about £8. I think you can get it on Amazon for about £8, £9, something like that. So for £4.95 with free postage, I thought, yeah, I'll grab that one and play it again on PlayStation 5. So yeah, Gungrave Gore. Looking forward to playing that one again, actually. It's quite sort of short, so it's a decent one to just throw into the mix a little bit. The next game, so I got this one from Gremlins Games in Leigh. I said I was going to go back. I did go back. Now I did they posted a picture of a bit of a restock they'd done before Christmas, I think it was. And I'd spotted this on the pictures on Facebook. It was on the shelves. And when I saw it, I was... Because I've seen this game before. I don't know a huge amount about this game, but I saw this game, again, going back to Instagram. Somebody posted this on there a while ago, and they were talking about it and saying they quite liked it. I think I'd seen this game in stock on Music Magpie at one point. I can't remember how much for. I think it may have been about £12 to £14, something like that. And it just intrigued me just because I didn't know anything about it, and it looked quite interesting. But yeah, I saw it on Facebook in Gremlins Games on the shelves, but I didn't think that they'd still have it. But when I went, it was still sat there on the shelves. So I thought, well, that's a sign. Let's grab this now. And that game is DNA, Dark Native Apostle. Sorry, I've got my light right at the wrong angle and it's really glaring on these games. But yeah, Dark Native Apostle. Again, don't know a huge amount about this game. I think it's, from what I've seen sort of pictures of it, and it's kind of a isometric, top-down puzzle shooter, come brawler type game. It just looks really interesting. I would say because of how little I kind of know about it, and sort of possibly how little it's known about. It's not going to be any kind of, you know, it's not going to be the greatest game ever, I'm sure. But it does look quite interesting. The artwork on it is quite cool looking too. Basically, you play like some bloke who's caught in an explosion, loses his memory, and wakes up with almost like is it sort of like a biomechanical arm or something which drops bombs. Sounds a bit weird and sounds a bit interesting. So yeah, I just like the look of it. It's cell shaded graphics as well. It's almost like an anime cell shaded graphic kind of look to it. So I paid £10 for that as well, which again, I think that's a fairly reasonable price for that one. Don't know about stock in CEX of this at the moment. Not sure if it's, I mean, I've never seen it in CEX, to be fair. Like I say, the only time I was made aware of this game was seeing it on Instagram and Music Magpie. So yeah, just happy to grab that one. I will be giving that one a go and see what that's like. So DNA, Dark Native Apostle. Sounds very serious, that. Next two pickups were from Cash Converters. It's the blue one, not the red one. Yeah, Cash Converters. You'll know if you've watched these videos. I always get Cash Generator and Cash Converters mixed up. But no, it's Cash Converters, this. Two games. Both of them nice and complete. The first one's cheap and cheerful. Everybody's Golf on the PSP. I picked this one up because Donald Mackerel got this in a bundle and said that this is a really decent golf game for the PSP. So yeah, I bought that one. That was 99p. It's actually got the old game stickers on there, and it was 99p back then, and still 99p now. I think it's about the same price, maybe £1 in CEX at the moment. So yeah, Everybody's Golf, nice and complete though. UMD's all right, not too flimsy or anything like that. So yeah, Everybody's Golf. And then a PlayStation 1 game, which I managed to pick up as well. This was $4.99, and it's Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. So I paid $4.99 for that. I don't know if that will pick up on there. It might do. But yeah, nice and complete. Decent condition, to be fair. Nice instruction manual there. Disc is all right. In fact, disc is immaculate. So yeah, $4.99 for that. It's weirdly... currently, I've not been able to sort of find how much this is worth in CEX because they don't seem to have any copies of it in stock. I don't think it's not a high value game or anything like that. So yeah, I just saw it like that. Nice box. I mean, the box is great actually. In fact, that is a really decent copy of this. I must admit, just looking at it now, it's a really decent copy of it because the box is great and the instructions are great and the disc is fine. Even the covers is sort of flat and it's not crumpled or anything. So yeah, a fiver, that's a decent pickup, that one, I think. I quite like those kind of cartoony punch out type boxing games as well. I haven't got the first one on anything. I don't think I've got the first one on anything. No. So yeah, I'll be giving that one a go. Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2. Next up, and this is the only CEX pickup from this time around. This is a game that I used to have back in the day in my original collection. I've been itching to get this back into the collection. Same with one of these other games, which I will show you at the end of the video. But yeah, saw this in CEX and thought I would grab it now. It's not a bad price actually on this. I don't know if this has come down recently. It was £6, and it is the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection on the Xbox. The box is a bit rough and ready, it just needs a clean, but it's £6. I think that's not a bad price for that. You get in there Street Fighter, or Hyper Street Fighter 2, which is basically like a bit of a mishmash of all of the versions of Street Fighter 2. It's like Turbo, Championship Edition, blah, 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 blah. You also get Street Fighter 3 Third Strike on there, which is quite sort of hard to come by these days. Obviously, it was a Dreamcast game. Don't think it was released on anything else. But it's not one that... I don't actually... When I had this originally, I don't remember playing Third Strike that much. I probably did, and maybe just wasn't that impressed with it and just stuck to Street Fighter 2, possibly. But yeah, Street Fighter 3 is on there as well. And also, there is a... well, included within the disc is the Street Fighter 2 animated movie as well, which is an absolute classic of an anime film. Right, it's not that great, but there are some amazing fights in it. Thinking of Vega versus Chun-Li. I actually bought that movie on DVD not that long ago, to be honest. But it's nice. It's a nice little extra on this collection. So for £6, happy with that one. And then the final two, these were from Cash Converters. So I also picked up Star Wars Bounty Hunter on the Nintendo GameCube. This was $4.99. Is that the right way up? That is the right way up. $4.99. I think it's about £6 game in CEX. But this, again, is in absolutely immaculate condition. It's just a shame it's got a flipping pre-owned sticker on the manual, which I should be able to get off. But it's just, if it wasn't for that, the manual is crisp. That's the word I would use for it. Absolutely crisp. And the disc again is really really immaculate. So because of the condition of the box and the manual was so good, yeah, I thought for £5 I'll pick that one up. Again, it's a bit of a shame because Game started to do this where they put their pre-owned stickers onto the cover inlays. Why they started doing that I don't know, but again, they should come off fairly easily. So yeah, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It's not my favourite Star Wars game of all time particularly. I remember the controls being so clunky in it. But I played it on PlayStation 2. I've never played the Cube version, so I may just dust off the GameCube and give this a quick go. But yeah, great cover with Jango Fett on the front of that as well. Remake of this coming out as well, isn't there? Or remaster, sorry. There's a remaster of Bounty Hunter. Or did it? Has it come out? It might have actually come out already. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. But yeah, GameCube game for £5. Can't sniff at that. And then the final one from Cash Converters. I was slightly surprised at this one, that they had it at the price they had it. I don't actually own any other games in this series either. I used to have the GameCube game, going back a bit. It was sold off in my original collection, and I regret that now because it's worth a pretty penny. But I paid $6.99 for this. It's Paper Mario Sticker Star. I've slowed up on the 3DS games recently. Actually, I've not bought too many Nintendo 3DS games, but I saw this one at $6.99. I thought that seemed fairly cheap. CEX, I think at the moment, are currently selling this for about £10. So yeah, it's a nice little find at that price. But yeah, I don't own any of the other Paper Mario games. I did have the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube originally, but did sell it off. Can't remember how much for, but probably not what it is worth these days, sadly. So those were the main pickups from the last few weeks. So I actually had, or ended up with, some bonus free time just before, I think it was last Saturday, just before the football. No, it was Sunday, because weirdly we played on a Sunday, so we went on Sunday morning. We had a few spare hours on the Sunday morning. And I thought, let's get to Leigh's Games in Morecambe. It's been a while since I've been to Leigh's Games, and I knew he'd put a bit of a sale on and he was doing some offers, so I really wanted to make sure I got up there, sort of before I had to go back to work. So we did. I took a little bit of footage from inside Leigh's Games, but I've done a couple of videos from there. So if you're not aware of this indie store, you've got to check it out, because it's such a great little shop. It's an amazing shop, well established. Andy, the owner of Leigh's Games, is such a star, such a gent, great to talk to as well. He genuinely really knows his stuff, really passionate about his gaming. But anyway, let's have a quick look at Leigh's Games. So that's the inside of Leigh's Games. As I said, it's on Morecambe seafront. Well worth a trip to go and have a look. If you can get the weather as well while you are there, then you'll probably, you'll have a quite nice day out too. But yeah, going into Leigh's Games, always love going in there. Always love having a rummage around and seeing what I can find. I had a little bit of Christmas money left over, so I went in with the intention of 3 things. And I actually managed to come away with 3 things. So I wanted the PlayStation 1 game, any PlayStation 1 game, because I know he has such a good range of PlayStation 1 games. So I wanted, I wanted to find some decent PS1 game that I could pick up. I actually wanted a specific Mega Drive game, and I also was looking to buy something a little bit extra special if I could. So I was thinking of a SNES game or an N64 game, or even a Game Boy game, but just sort of open-minded, go and see what he's got. So I ticked all the boxes, which I was really pleased with. Cheers, excuse me. So the first game, the Mega Drive game that I wanted to pick up, I don't know what it was. I think I've been playing AEW on the PlayStation 5. And it made me think about, obviously, the N64 games, but I was thinking back further to like the SNES games and the Mega Drive games as well. And I think I'd seen this game that I've picked up in, it might have been one of the cash converters, and I'd been a little bit tempted to maybe get it. But it just looked a little bit beaten up, and for the price that they had it, I didn't want to spend that kind of money on a game that looked a little bit shoddy. So we had it in Leigh's Games. As soon as I saw it, I thought, yeah, I'm going to grab that this time. And that game is Super WrestleMania on the Mega Drive. It really, really irks me that this is called Super WrestleMania on the Sega Mega Drive. I get it for the Super Nintendo, which is then I used to have that version of this game, but yeah, Super WrestleMania. There's other games on the Mega Drive that are sort of called Super something as well, Super Thunderblade, for example. Why didn't they just change into Mega, like Mega Bomberman? Anyway, but yeah, Super WrestleMania on the Mega Drive. I paid £10 for that. Really nice condition box, nice and complete. Really, well looked after. Manual there. Cartridge is in great condition as well. So yeah, I was really pleased to pick that one up as well, and find it in there. I have played it, and yeah, it's a nostalgia trip. It's kind of showing its age, I must admit. Like I said, I've played the SNES version of this before, and I always thought that was okay. I think I always preferred Royal Rumble on the SNES of those sort of 16-bit wrestling games. I think Raw is War was alright as well, but Royal Rumble always felt like the best one. Super WrestleMania came out quite early on, I think, in the SNES and Mega Drives live. But it's an alright game. It's kind of a pick up and play button bash type wrestling game. Interesting character selection on there. You have the Ultimate Warrior, which you kind of get. British Bulldog, which is a bit of a bonus. Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Papa Shango, and Shawn Michaels. So I think for the WrestleMania on the SNES, the roster is slightly different. But I could be confusing it with like the Royal Rumble game. I'm pretty sure. No, I can't remember. I can't remember who was on the SNES version, but I'm pretty sure Bulldog wasn't on it. There was somebody else, but I just can't think off the top of my head who was in that game. But yeah, it's not bad. I think there are other characters in there. I'm sure Ted DiBiase's on the front as well. I'm sure Ted DiBiase's one of the playable characters as well. It doesn't actually say who the characters are. I'm sure it's probably in the instruction manual. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Yeah, Super WrestleMania, happy with that one. £10. So the next one I was looking for was a PlayStation game. Now, I am kind of looking for those dual case PlayStation games because I just love those double box games. I did see Tekken 2 in there, and I was sort of tempted with that. And there were a couple of others as well. But as soon as I saw this game, I thought, no, this is the one I want to pick up. And that game is Roll Cage. So I paid £14 for that one. Again, nice and complete, immaculate condition again. Disc is great. So I've not played this one. I've played Roll Cage Stage 2 and absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite PlayStation games. I think it's just a really solid future racer that feels a bit like sort of Ridge Racer. It's kind of got it's kind of a bit of a future racer mixed with Ridge Racer. It's a bit of a weird combo, but it's a really, really good game, Stage 2. But I'd never played the first one, so as soon as I saw it, I thought, yeah, I'm going to grab this one because I love the second one so much. Let's play the first one as well. And I have played it now, and I still prefer Stage 2, obviously because it's a sequel and it's a few years later. It probably just feels like a little bit more polished. But this is still, in its own right, is still a very solid, decent little racing game. Controls are really tight for it. The only thing that really does my head in with this game is you've only got to have the slightest contact with other cars, and it will send your car spinning off the track. And because of the sort of 360 element of the cars, because you can drive on either side of the cars, and the tracks can slope and you can drive up the tracks and that sort of thing, you've only got to have the slightest bit of contact with another car, and you can be in first place, and someone bumps into the back of you, and your car will just go spinning off, and you'll be in last place, which is a little bit annoying. I don't remember that being a huge issue in the second one, so maybe that's just something they tightened up on a little bit. But that being said, though, Roll Cage, the original game, great game. Do love that one. Not sure how much that is in CEX at the moment. Probably, I don't know actually. I think that's a pretty decent price for it, to be fair, £14. And as I've always said, I'm always quite happy to just pay that little bit extra if you're buying it from a store like Leigh's Games, a game like an independent store. I'm always happy to pay a little bit more, just because you know what you're going to get, and you know where that money's going as well. It's going to keeping that store going. Not that he needs my money or anything like that, because he does a roaring trade all the time. But yeah, £14. I think that is a decent price for that one. And then the last pickup, and this was a bit lucky, really. It was a bit of a chance pickup, this. So you might have noticed from the footage that sat on the counter was a Pokemon version of the N64. Literally, I'd gone into the store, and then a couple of seconds later, another lad walked into the store with a big bag of stuff, and included in there was this Pokemon N64 console. I didn't buy that, by the way. I didn't have that kind of Christmas money, not that lucky. But it was in immaculate condition, really nice condition. And we, once the guy had gone, and Andy was sort of getting it ready to go out on sale. It's already gone, by the way. We were sort of looking over it, and I also noticed that he'd brought some games in. I think he'd brought 3 boxed games and a few unboxed cartridge-only games. I'm sure one of them was Rat Attack, which has just suddenly flown up in price, boxed anyway. But yeah, one game that stood out for me, as soon as I saw it, I had to ask Andy how much he was looking for. He told me the price, and I was like, I have to get this. I've been looking for this game for a while. Now, when I show you which game it is, you'll probably go, why have you not already got that? Well, I did have this game, and I thought I had this game. So when I, going back a few years, when I started to get my games that I'd left from my original collection out, I got all the N64 games that I'd sort of saved, and for the life of me, couldn't understand why this game wasn't with them, because I knew I had this game, and I was 90% sure I'd not sold it. So I was surprised it wasn't there, and I've never been able to find it. I've obviously either lost it or possibly loaned it to someone, or swapped it with someone for a period of time, but we've just never swapped it back. I just don't know what happened to my copy. It's definitely not in this house, I know that. So it's been a bit of a hole in my collection, certainly my N64 collection, for a while. It's a game that, if you've got an N64, you have to have this game. Not only is it one of the best games for the N64, it's one of the best games of all time. Easily one of the best games of all time. And you probably know from me saying that, you'll know what game it is. It is, of course, The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. And yeah, this is an absolute classic game, unbelievable game. I remember when it first came out. I played A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. So I'd played Zelda games before, but I wasn't a massive sort of Zelda fan at that point. But played this, and yeah, just unbelievable game. Easily one of the SNES N64's best games. So I paid £40 for this. I think Andy said he was going to put it out for 50, but he said to me he'd sell it for 40, which is, again, I think against the CEX price, is a very sort of reasonable price to pay for it, and it is in absolutely decent, fabulous condition. It was a little bit creased, the box, I must admit, when I got it, but I've sort of flattened it out. I've had it flattened out in books and squashed, and it's come out really nicely, to be fair. So yeah, you can see there without the box protector, a little bit of roughage there, but nothing major. But yeah, boxed and complete. Let's get the cartridge out. There's the cart. Again, nice condition, and the manual's in there as well. Not too bad condition either. So yeah, I was happy to pay that. I just wanted to get a, something that little bit extra special after Christmas, something boxed, something Nintendo, and it doesn't get much better than that, does it? So yeah, I know I probably should have this in my collection already. I thought I did have it in my collection already. It's been on my mind to get this again at some point, and yeah, really happy to now finally get this back into the N64 collection. So those were my first few pickups for 2025. Hopefully not the last. It's not going to be the last. You know it's not. You know I'm going to go out and get more games. I always do. One thing I was going to mention when I was talking about the game collection, one decent buy which I think is worth a look on there, was System Shock for the PlayStation 5. So you can get that. I think Smiths have been selling it for about 20. They don't seem to have a huge amount of stock of it. But the game collection online are selling it for $14.95 in their sale, so I think that is a decent pickup. So if you've been thinking about buying the System Shock remaster, I think it's a remaster. Who knows these days? Yeah, that's a decent price and probably worth a look. Yeah, I'm happy with these games that I picked up. Really pleased to pick that one up. That's a nice little grab, that one, and yeah, so happy to finally put that back into the collection. It's one of those where I know I've said I pick up N64 cartridge only games, but this one I wanted to get this one boxed again just because it's Zelda, because it's Ocarina of Time, and because I just don't know what happened to my copy. Where did it go? I'll probably never find out. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, if you can hit that subscription button, that would be excellent. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.